differently. I'm expecting this to be a repeat of draft up until when the Ziggs is locked in. I believe Ziggs was locked in. If they had to pick a different champ, then I don't know. Maybe we just call it home field advantage, or we learn about what happened later. That said, expecting the same draft up until the Ziggs, and we'll see where it goes from there. Again, I'm looking towards JDG. If they don't choose to take a consistent form of AD DPS in the likes of Yone, or maybe a few of the mid laners that we are seeing, or marksmen that we see get played mid or top, then disadvantage as the game goes on, going up against an Ashe Braum, where if they're able to interact with you, the DPS from them will be greater than whatever JDG has. So could have a couple different styles of compositions coming in here.
So if this hover gets locked in, JDG wanted a certain Yordle with magic damage, just not the Ziggs. You know, they wanted potentially this Kennen, and this would have guaranteed double AP solo lanes, and then you have mixed damage with the physical damage.
Yeah.
Xin Zhao, and now you have an open field for whatever Peyz wants to play in the bot lane.
I like this pick a lot. It's 2-0 for JDG and Ale, and also into what's showing, there's nothing that can keep Kennen out. Like, oftentimes, Kennen, you're struggling against going up against something like a Lee Sin, which actually could be banned away from Beichuan here if you want to take away some displacement. But, like, when you're playing Kennen, you're scared of, like, an Alistar, Lee Sin, anything that can really keep you out from having that big R-Flash moment. What's being shown so far, you have a winning lane for Kennen into Rumble, and Ashe Braum, they can CC you, but it takes time, and if you're using Enchanted Crystal Arrow on Kennen, that's something that A, he can flash, or B, that's not exactly where you want to be using the tool unless you can get a pick. And Kennen, he wants to hide himself and be truly a rat in a brush so that you don't have a chance to react to that. So I really like the setup so far from JDG, and love the fact that with all the damage they have, they're going to take something like a Jhin that offers them much more control. So ability to outrange and out-interact the TT comp, and try and really play slow, and then when they cast the Rs from both Aurora and Kennen, just have a big boom shotgun team fight, and TT hopefully can't deal with that.
Yeah, and Peyz is now a little bit safer in these fights because he can just sit in a crow's nest halfway across the fight screen, but a Poppy lock in for ThunderTalk. I mean, this could go to Beichuan in the jungle, and the Rumble would still go top lane. And now with, you know, decent ultimates available, like the Slicing Maelstrom from Kennen, that would be something that you could steal as the Sylas, but I feel like ThunderTalk probably want a little bit more control, ways to be able to really punish JDG for overextending with the three-man core as they want to push in forward. The Victor is locked in.
I don't like this.
Really not a fan?
No, I think that you need some sort of engager set up for the Rumble. I think the Galio ban was really smart from JDG, taking that away. Now, I like this adaptation from JDG because we are seeing a lot of Galio into the Rumble, but you don't want to play Galio into Ashe Braum. Like, that doesn't feel good. Ashe can really make your life hell, making a one-directional trip going in. But taking the Kennen, banning the Galio, I think Galio would have been something that would have brought the entire TT comp together. Instead, you don't have this, like, big main engager set up for the Rumble outside of an Ashar, even, like, Poppy, the E and, the R knockup. I think that the idea is that this is something that can actually mark and keep Kennen out. So you have a numbers advantage, but now the Bard pick for missing, I loved. You're playing against immobile carries in a Braum that is going to likely be positioning with Ashe on the front line. I really, really favor JDG's draft in this one. I think it's going to be a really tough time for ThunderTalk, who I expect to get outranged and corralled by JDG, just with the comp they have so far, and they don't have great ways to deal with the Aurora and the Kennen Arkeys. So I think it's going to be a really tough task for ThunderTalk in this game.
So are you saying that ThunderTalk, the only way they win is if they just gold gap them? You know, slap them with bigger wallets?
They have some positives in terms of scaling with the Victor, but like the fight for JDG, if you have Kennen R Flash, there's nothing that can keep that out, unless you're going to hit it with a Poppy's Keeper's Verdict or Poppy E out, and even that, you can flash that E animation if you are Ale, who has been really good on the Kennen. So I think that you're signing up again for losing lanes, and then just as long as JDG is on point with how we're going to use our Kennen, Aurora, and Bard Arkeys, because keep in mind, the Bard can be great setup, but also we have seen the Bard with that Tempered Fate have some dyssynergy with executing the fight if it's used at the wrong time. So Missing will have to be on point for that, but yeah, I really do favor JDG's draft going into this game.
You know what I'm a big fan of, Cubby? I'm a big fan
Proving
of
me wrong?
Missing. No. Well, actually, that's the second favorite. But what I'm a big fan of right now is that Missing is taking Electrocute on the Bard. I believe for playoffs, we're on patch 15.3 or 25.3. Hang on, Beichuan.
Yeah, Electrocute got buffed.
Double Electrocute procs already making quick work of Beichuan's health bar. Thankfully for him, he did not have to flash. But yeah, if this is the third patch of the season, then Electrocute got Omega buff.
Yeah, we are.
It is super strong, and I'm curious why teams haven't been jumping on using these keystones sooner, but I'm glad to see that JDG now taking advantage with, oh my gosh, there's 3, even Olive has.
Cannon's got it too. I actually like this from TT. I think that this is something that they should do. They're gonna look for a late invade, and Shun being smart, trying to spot it here. Yeah, will do. Really well played from Shun to spot this out. Ashe Braum level 1 is very strong, but it's looking like TT, they don't want to fully commit to this. If they do, Jin is walking over. They're just going to fully commit to Shun, try and deny his wolves.
I'm just walking over, and now Shun will be forced to retreat into his topside jungle, unless... No, Beichuan is cleaner with the smite. Smite is starting to fall on Shun already. I'm just kidding. And we're not into the objectives yet. But JDG off to a bit of a rough start in the jungle department, but, you know, that is a lot of resources invested from ThunderTalk, delaying 1xN's own lane start, just to make sure that Beichuan can have a opportunity advantage over Shun, but he's just going to immediately invade the top side jungle.
Yeah, they're going to split this map.
Yep.
It's still okay. By doing this, TT, they pick the side of the map they want to play. It was a very fast push from Peyz. 1xN actually didn't miss anything. Because Peyz did push the wave, but yeah, it does open up the chance to maybe contest, as Missing is going to go try and harass. And we'll see if 1xN is going to commit to contest this as well. But yeah, doing a nice job of stalling out Beichuan, and that hawk shot seeing only the Raptor down and no Xin Zhao on the top side will alert ThunderTalk that Xin Zhao is taking camps away from Beichuan's top side. So just delaying the Poppy and making sure that the Xin can get a little bit of jungle tempo. So it answers the initial play that was attempted by TT. So I like the stall coming out from the bot lane of JDG.
Gives a little bit of love back to the jungler, as you called out, who was denied his own quadrant on the bottom side of the map, but with the split being opted into by ThunderTalk, I'm curious if Beichuan is going to try to force anything aggressive onto Peyz and Missing early on in the laning phase as the wave is slowly stacking up, but doesn't look like Beichuan is going to be making his way over there anytime soon, as he's already on the red buff, just starting it up. Shun was looking at SeTab, but realized it is a big wave, and he's not going to even bother with it for now. Has the crab to go for first, which is just spawning now, and then maybe he can look at the Victor in the mid lane.
So Victor as a champion, I always love to say Victor, he's a scaler, but he's also a really strong laner. He's just not good at moving. So SeTab doing a nice job. He did take what looks like Airy Scorch build, can actually really push Aurora around in that early lane phase, and SeTab is doing so. My concern with the Victor is that I think that no matter what kind of lead he gets, if Scout and Ale both press R on him, he's going to have a tough time. The scaling of this game, again, I do think that the Ashe, Victor, Braum, that core scales nicely. I'm just concerned about TT's ability to execute the fight itself.
Sure.
So I don't think that the gold, especially like in the early to mid game, is going to matter a ton for SeTab, because JDG should just have a winning fight anyway. But we'll say that SeTab, if he's able to scale up throughout the game, could be a really big headache for JDG, and this might be a nice game to go for a setup like even a second item Banshees, I think, might be really nice for SeTab to get a lot of magic resist, because that's where a lot of the damage is going to be coming from, the Kennen and the Aurora. And if Victor is able to survive that, it's a little bit less damage on the build, but he can't afford to do that, and his cooldowns are relatively low. So potential for SeTab if he goes for a safer build, and yeah, Seraphs is what he's looking at, and I think it's very warranted this game. Seraphs plus Banshees, that's a no-go, but I was hoping for Ludens plus Banshees, but I think Seraphs is going to be safe. Just needs to go damage for the other items.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. You can't go ultra defensive. I think the only times that works is when you get spoon-fed a ton of kills early, and then you use the ultra defensive build to protect your lead, but you know, that's not necessarily the case unless things change. Now, I do want to point your attention, we're 50 seconds away from grub spawning. The first dragon is already up for grabs. Xun is on the bottom side of the map as both of the bot laners opted into a swap back towards the top side. This makes sense. I think both teams are now a bit more in posture and position to try and contest for the first round of grubs, especially for ThunderTalk's sake. They don't want to give over 6 grubs like they did last time, but Xun was looking for a hover on the bot side to see if Hoya overstepped his bounds here, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
I like the idea. He needs to reset, though, to be at grubs in time.
Yep.
Big thing to look out for is TPs from the bot lane. Do Hoya or Awe want to step up and answer? Hoya has the ability to sack a little bit of his health bar to try and ensure push on this bot side going into the cannon. As 6 is very close to being dinged by Awe, he's going to get it first. And Xun being late to the party. Looks like they're going to give this. I will say Ash Braum, like before level 6 comes in for bot laners, the pre-6 fight from Ash Braum is really good. Just the ability to play off the slows and the winner's fight. So
sure.
I think JDG is going to respect that and take the trade. Expect for them to contest the second grubs with all those ultimates. And again, if we can layer the R keys of Scout and Awe, that's be a really winning scenario for JDG. But really paying respect to the early strength of Ash Braum here.
Well, as you called it, objective trade. Beichuan maybe has a chance to threaten the dive on the top side. It's going to get spotted out, so JDG have a little bit of a window to see if they want to defuse the dive or at least call for reinforcements. But Peyz and Missing are doing a pretty darn good job of stalling the wave crash and even getting a little bit of chip damage on the 1xN and Feather in the crash. So now the dive no longer really a healthy or a viable option, and Xun might look mid lane. SeTab, there's Between Worlds. Scout locks him up. SeTab is slowed down. Does Xun want to go for the W flash? Yes, he does, but here comes 1xN of a roam from Ash, of all people. And Beichuan now is going to flash to reposition Xun right into the middle of the lane. Xun getting slowed down by the arrows of 1xN. Even Feather joins the party, and it's first blood over to the ThunderTalk. But Missing and the curtain call from Peyz trying to find 1xN. They've got 2 people stacked in the front to block for 1xN. Can Peyz bend it like Beckham and find 1xN with the last bullet? Not gonna happen. ThunderTalk protect their AD carry.
That was a fantastic flash coming out of SeTab. He waited for Xin Zhao to jump him, then flashed out of the Crescent guard damage to make sure that he was safe. That helped bait Xun in far enough so that Beichuan could actually make the play to follow up. Again, really want to credit SeTab for how he played that one out. And then the bot lane of TT, of course, they were topside. They had push with the Ash Braum, able to rotate and help their mid laner. Great job assisting SeTab on this Victor. Want to see ThunderTalk continue to now ward and protect Victor, because Victor without flash, that's a giant, you know, blinking green light for JDG as a lane in the place where they can make plays. But a great recovery from ThunderTalk to protect their mid laner, who has been such a great performer for them in the early season, and make sure that SeTab was able to get out and actually get a kill out of that situation. Really, really well played here by ThunderTalk.
Yeah, and even on the back half, the fact that 1xN does not have to burn flash in the recollapse from JDG's bot lane, trying to...
It was calculated. He knew. Yeah.
So ThunderTalk in a pretty solid position. You know, it's just a few hundred gold in advantage for them, so nothing to really run away with the game about. But, you know, first 3 grubs picked up for them. Now ThunderTalk are in a position where in the next minute and a half, maybe they'll want to set the pace for setting up the next rotation of grubs. There's no flash for Xun, no flash for Scout. Peyz and Missing and Ala. I feel like we're going to see teleports from top laners join the fight for the second rotation of grubs if JDG really want to make sure that ThunderTalk don't get all 6.
Yeah, those are spawning in a minute and change here. Have seen Peyz pick up a little bit of an XP advantage over 1xN. That does matter on Jin. Of course, Missing, spending time elsewhere, able to pick up some of the chimes to catch up too. Well done. And Jin, of course, for this... Oh, Scout, that was an interesting W. SeTab didn't aggro his R again, though, so wasn't quite able to have that follow-up on the Aurora. Scout will have TP up, but SeTab really pushing here.
This man is pushing through the turret, but the Between Worlds kills the wave and gets 1 turret shot onto SeTab. The laser ticks Scout on the back end, but he's got a teleport. So does SeTab.
Yeah.
Both mid laners going to be down ultimates for this second grub fight here now.
That's advantage for TT, though, to Between Worlds is way more valuable than Victor ult. It's just going to be, you know, how these teams can recover. Do want to note, I think SeTab is getting kind of close to that first evolve. Does matter a lot on the Victor, being able to delete the waves with the E. 1 instead of 2. And we are going to see Victor. SeTab does have the empowered teleport now available. And we'll get that off and reset. So it's going to be really aggressive. He's actually going to burn some HP for this one. I don't agree with that at all. Yeah, that's an oopsie.
Well, homie just lost a third of his HP off of a full combo from Scout. But you know, we'll see if that punishes ThunderTalk for this grub fight. Hoya engaging on the Ala so that he can't teleport to the top side of the fight. It's just a 1v1, but the equalizer kind of whiffed, whereas Ala got him most of his damage. But the burn from Hoya as he overheats and sears Ala into the ground. The rest of ThunderTalk now have the advantage as they look for all 6 grubs. They already got the first one of the second rotation, and there's no answer from JDG. ThunderTalk gonna secure all 6.
It's a great timer hit by Hoya, and I love how he played that one. Notice how he didn't overheat until after the Kennen stuns were used, and flash follow with the overheat to melt the Kennen. Calculated 1v1 coming out from Hoya, as he's going to space that one. Meanwhile, missing, he's going down.
I think Shun is going to pick himself up a Hoya, unless... No way. He sidesteps the whip, becomes lightning, he's going to get burned down. Oh, baby! Hoya on the rumble! And you can see how frustrated Shun is in the player cam feed, too.
And this has been kind of the Achilles heel of JDG, is that we've seen other best of fives they've played in the group stage where they've had maps look like map 1. It's been nothing but dominance coming out of their team, but then we've had maps look like this where we haven't seen Missing on the Bard really make any plays. And then Shun, a couple of his plays have been misguided.
Oh my god, and Hoya just teleports to the top side, assists in the dive as 1xN just laid down the pain with the rain of arrows. ThunderTalk, they are just slowly coming alive in this series. And for all the ThunderTalk fans in the chat, now's the time to rise.
Yeah, again, I want to credit how Hoya played this. This is a good timer. You see Ale was burning some of his tools on the wave, including his E, which gives him bonus resistances. Yes, the R is not the best, but Hoya, ding 9, gets the overheat, flash follow after the stun goes. Well played by Hoya on the Rumble. It's been a big pick for him. Something that JDG also hasn't played. They've been playing the Kennen into this pick. They have had success with the Kennen, being 2-0, but ThunderTalk turn inside, and then this one from Shun. The first 2 plays that we've seen Shun attempt, they've both led to deaths for him. And yeah, those briefcases aren't going to save you from anything. Great outplay from Hoya using the turret to get around that one, and Hoya being no flash.
I was about to say, don't tell me Hoya escapes again, but no flash, and this
dragon,
time JDG brought a lot of people to the party to make sure that this Rumble was shut down. 1xN just dodging out on that deadly flourish, where ThunderTalk are securing the second dragon of the game. I guess JDG never really got it while the 6 grubs were being taken by ThunderTalk, and a good flash from Missing. Dodged out on that arrow from 1xN.
They couldn't trade it because Shun was too busy dying to Hoya under the tower. And
you're right. That was the same time.
I mean, the death from Hoya, man, that's a good death. I'll take that for the dragon. They had both solo laners go up top. Yes, they get the kill on the Rumble. It's a mini shutdown, but I think that you'll take the dragon and the pressure of the 6 grubs bot. SeTab was able to pick up all those plates and is going for the first brick. Feet's already secured by TT.
There's the angle. Beichuan lines it up. There's the CC train, and Ala is going night-night.
We haven't seen anyone but Hoya play the Poppy here for ThunderTalk, but Beichuan making it look good, and ThunderTalk in this game, the game where I was really concerned for them in this draft. The circles that the Aurora, the Kennen can bring to the table, the setup for Missing. We just haven't seen any of it. What we see is Shun have 2 attempted plays go sideways, and ThunderTalk use the strength they had early from the Ash Braum to dictate the size of the map they wanted to play, dictate first grub, dictate a lot more. Beichuan, he's going down.
Well, thankfully he has a flash, and he has the phase rush movement speed to sidestep the Temple Fate.
Yeah.
That red buff is gonna not be his to secure, but you know what? I think it's okay. Beichuan would rather deny the shutdown gold bounty, as Hoya has enough time to himself in the top lane to take out the turret. I believe that is now 2 turrets that ThunderTalk have taken off the map.
Oh, Hoya's
in really great position. Oh man, Hoya can't catch a break. They really hate this guy. Well, teleport's gonna come in, and I think Hoya's only chance is to just try and turn on the afterburners onto All and see how much damage he can get. Feather is approaching. The Between Worlds barely attacks Hoya for the slow. He gets nicked, but wait a minute! Hoya still kills him with the harpoon over the wall, and Scout can't do anything to save it.
Great save by Feather. The Unbreakable actually saved Rumble from the Aurora combo. Enabled Hoya to turn around. Harpoon over the wall. Finds the cannon. And these attempted plays from JDG, I like the fact we're trying to play into the Rumble. It hasn't been executed that well. And Rumble with the treads, again, I think that you need to send Xin synced up with someone else to attack this pick. Down flash. Xin interacts pretty well with Rumble. You pretty much get a free knockup and free setup. But now, Hoya's pretty big. He's too big to deal with.
They are not stopping the pain train here, Matt. Missing is trying to use his portal out, but he just doesn't get a chance to. There's too much CC layered from ThunderTalk's jungler and support duo. They have completely taken over the map. 4,000 gold advantage. They are living it up in the red side jungle quadrant. Hang on. Peyz, I don't think,
Wow.
you don't want to be there. Immediately knew, hang on, that's a poppy, and that wall is right behind me. I need to flash this immediately.
Honestly, a tough game from JDG, because something else we talked about, their lack of consistency. What have we seen Missing and Shun together, or Shun out like together on this map? We haven't seen the Xin, the Bard sync up at all. And I think that's like another big part of it. You can use the Bard to try and get some fast rotations, try and make some plays, set things up. And yeah, into Hoya. Shout out to Feather. Great exhaust, great Unbreakable. Prevented the damage from going through onto Hoya, got the Rumble out of there. Even got the flash from Scout on the back half. That's a giant win for ThunderTalk, who are very far up in this game. 4K and some scaling aspects to their comp as well, especially looking at that Victor Raafaa. He's sitting really pretty. SeTab is cruising to his items. Feather. Oh. Okay.
JDG did not want to spring the trap on just the lowly Braum. However, Shun and Missing linking up, looking for 1xN, the immediate flash. Gets 1xN out to safety. Fires back an arrow, stuns Shun in his place. Beichuan now positions him back with the slam. And the Temper Fate will not save his jungler today. Missing is still on the retreat. The rest of ThunderTalk, they are taking every single punch that JDG throws at them and ends up misdirecting it back at JDG themselves.
I really don't like how JDG is playing out this grab as... okay, we're going to have the Herald at least take that outer. I don't think that Shun should be leading the charge. Like, look for these Tempered Fates. Like, when Shun goes in and gets the flash from the Ashe, which isn't worth it going like in 1v1, where's the Tempered Fate to actually try and set up the big circles coming out from Scout and Ale? You had people there mid. The Tempered Fates feel so late or just non-existent, and Shun is so far ahead of his team and like what they're doing. Again, a lot of desync here from JDG. That's been the concern of this team early on, is that, again, we see the maps like map 1 where you can't breathe on the map and JDG just win from minute 1 and don't let go. We also see maps like this where JDG kind of look like what TT did in game 1, not getting into it, except it's not like they haven't had chances in this game. It's just that every play it's been a misplay. Like, we haven't really seen them hit anything.
Yeah, and I would argue it's a lot different. ThunderTalk, they just kind of got rolled over. JDG, they're kind of rolling themselves because a lot of the advantages that ThunderTalk are getting are from misplays and misexecutions from JDG.
Yes, very much agree. Like, ThunderTalk gave too much in game 1, and then JDG's comp got too big. This time around, we've seen Shun actually attempt to make plays. They've just been bad. They've been punished. He's getting pretty heavily out-jungled by Beichuan in this game, who has had a really nice start to of the year. I believe he was second in the LPL All-Pro voting for jungle. Second or third. He made it on the list. I should really have that graphic up with how many times I've been able to reference it. But
yeah, I think
that series he had against BLG, I mean, Wei was terrible in that series, but he's trying to complete, complete the duo in terms of the BLG junglers from last year. He took down the guy that was replaced during the Worlds run in Wei, and now taking down Shun on this map, who has made some mistakes, and Beichuan has really punished the map because of that.
Yeah. We're almost 20 minutes into the second game of the series. 5,000 gold advantage for ThunderTalk. Otacon spawning in 30 seconds. The third dragon of the game is being secured by Beichuan. SeTab is here for assistance, as so Beichuan can look for maybe someone. He punts out Ala. And they're trying to find a re-engage, making sure that JDG can't find one of their own. And ThunderTalk do a decent job of dissuading whatever JDG was looking for.
Like JDG, if you can't move the Victor, I also love what SeTab's doing here. He got so excited in this game. He's just going to go second item death cap. I really like this on mid laners, because if you're able to, yeah, it makes everything else just stronger from there. As gonna get another bullet. Missing with man, those feet were so fancy that he juked himself out there.
I mean, he had to flash the arrow, but 1xN, that was the impressive blue suede shoes performance we got there. Just basically kind of like microing on the spot to dodge the Tempered Fate while also getting out of range of Shun's charge there. So just really, really good awareness. Now, ThunderTalk are here in position for the Otacon. The question is, do they actually just want to rip it? And
oh, they're ripping it.
They're ripping it, all right. Well, JDG, will you answer the call? Will you heed this Otacon being started up by ThunderTalk? And it looks like they're just trying to wait for Peyz to overstep is welcome. He just flashes backwards. He's out of the fight. He can reposition for a Curtain's Call if he needs to. Missing, however, doesn't have that same luxury because he lost the flash in the previous exchange. Now JDG are down to support. 5 versus 4. ThunderTalk feel very confident about just taking this for themselves.
That's a great read from Hoya. And I know that we've pitched Hoya as being someone that's been, you know, a tank or a role player in this team, and that has been true, but we gotta start putting a little bit more respect on Hoya's name. His Rumble has been really good. Won the map against BLG, winning this map against JDG, and also has had a couple other carry performances. The Camille into Bin, that game 5.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Hoya, I feel like, has really stepped up. Of course, all of ThunderTalk have stepped up. When you have an org that historically their average place is 12th in LPL, and then they find themselves top 4, it's going to require a pretty good performance buff. But I love this play from Hoya. They saw Zin, they see Peyz in a really awkward spot, and trading flash for flash like that when you're a Rumble against a Jhin, that's worth it. Not to mention you're trading missing in half the health bar of Peyz before an objective and losing nothing of value for yourself. That's a great read in the moment from Hoya. Really good play. I know it didn't look super fancy, but he got his team a free Otacon off the back of that.
I think
you'll take that every day.
That's what I was so amused with in the replay. Just like Hoya seeing like, oh, you know, maybe if Peyz oversteps, and he's like checking, not expecting Peyz to actually be there. And as soon as he sees him overextending, he's like, oh snap, I'm flashing in, guys, I'm going in. And Peyz is like, whoa, there's a Rumble behind us. How do we let this happen? And so not necessarily a comedy of errors. It was just more like a, you know, it was amusing to me. But now ThunderTalk get to reap the rewards of it. Peyz still down a flash, so very hard for him to actually step up safely to defend this tower. Good keeper's verdict by Beichuan. Punts away the front line. That guarantees the second tower.
TP.
Oh, TP from Ala. This could be great. Equalizer's going to split up the fight.
Wait.
Ala doesn't actually want to get into the fight. It seems so dangerous. The Tempered Fate now lines it up.
That's a setup.
Does he have the setup to flash in? Slicing Maelstrom onto multiple members of ThunderTalk, and the Otacon GAs are falling. And at least for ThunderTalk's sake, they get at least 1 kill over, but every single GA has been expended by JDG.
And I gotta say, if that's the fight that you want as JDG, but they burned every flash they had just to stop the push and to get the Otacon respawn. So, like, that big power play you're looking for with the Flash Cannon ult, the Flash Aurora ult, it's not going to be up now for 5 minutes and to contest this upcoming Baron against a team that is very far ahead in ThunderTalk. So, yes, it's good to see JDG put together the fight that they're looking for. That's the setup you want with the Tempered Fate, buying time and taking away the tools that can prevent Kennen getting in and make sure that Aurora and Kennen can get into the fight. But you don't have the flashes now to set that up. I don't know if that's actually worth the investment coming out from JDG. If they did that play without flashes, I'd be like, that's outstanding. Like, we need to see more of that. But they don't have the ability to make that for the next few minutes. And you're getting diminishing returns when you're taking away the Otacon GAs. So even in a play that's super winning for JDG, they still find a way to not get nearly as much as they should have out of this.
This almost seems like a fight 5 minutes made too late, you know?
Yeah. I mean, again, like, it's a good between worlds, and in the lower third, it looks like we had Hoya just take out Missing. His Missing looks like way he did winning Game 5, or playing out of Game 5 in the final. Oh, wait, no, that was On. Flashes to On's Bard in Game 5 LPL Finals. That's where we were going. I had to reference it.
Slandering the wrong support. Oh no. Well,
I mean, Missing deserves slander. All right, that's where we're at.
Oh boy. Well, the Electrocute Bard is not living up to the hype, unfortunately, for JDG.
Oh, it's electric, all right. If you're ThunderTalk.
Oh well, you know, the Lightning is not showing up for JDG, but the Thunder is definitely.
Dude, they took Lightning into Thunder, and Thunder, you know, when you hear thunder and you see lightning, that's how far away the storm is. The true storm is always with ThunderTalk. We should have known in draft, once we saw 3 electrocutes, that this was ThunderTalk favored. Imagine taking Kennen into ThunderTalk. Like, talk about being thematically countered.
I don't know, man. Pre minute 1 Cubby would argue otherwise, you know, saying, "Oh, dude, you have a really good draft."
I still really like the JDG draft. I think they played it disgustingly, but that's another decision, or that's another conversation to have.
Well,
I mean, Shun and missing. Talk about 404 not found.
oh man. Yeah, this is a tough one. But this is what we were talking about throughout the course of off season and the split, where, you know, yes, JDG will sometimes have games like game 1 where they are in sync and the composition plays a lot to their strengths and they just roll over the team, no questions asked. But then we've gotten games like this where JDG are just looking completely confounded and they're not making the right plays at the right time, or they're just executing and, you know, kind of tripping over themselves. This is a decent tempered fade from missing. Stalls out the Baron. Maybe can Shun redeem himself? He's into the pit. 1900, 1500, but Beichuan secures it. A nice, valiant attempt from Shun to try and steal the Baron away, but ThunderTalk are victorious in this one. And now, here comes the repercussions of their actions as the rest of JDG were overextended. Beichuan leads the charge, looks for the Keeper's Verdict for the knockup and all, but Peyz has the movement speed thanks to the fleet. And now JDG, they are going to be able to hold their ground for now, but against full 5 members on the side of ThunderTalk and a Baron buff on their side, I don't know how much longer this ground is going to last.
No, I think this game's pretty wrapped up. Scout maybe looking to get 1xn. Nice snipe from Peyz.
1xn got state. Okay, wait a minute. JDG. Oh,
that's 2.
Got 2 with the vertical. Okay, maybe the game's not over yet. Ala throws down the slicing maelstrom, pops Beichuan. Peyz says this game is not over yet, baby, unless I say so. And he picks up a triple kill for himself.
That's 4.
Feather is locked down. Wait a minute, Matt. Maybe the game has just been saved by Peyz.
I mean, heroics from Peyz here, who has been really good this year. They needed someone to step up. Peyz doing so. Great curtain call. 2 snipes on the back half on both 1xn and Hoya to really take the Baron away and take away the momentum of the push that TT had. ThunderTalk, they were really far ahead, but playing for a little bit too much. They were getting greedy. Tried to play both top and mid. And Hoya and 1xn just not respecting Scout, as, you know, ThunderTalk were looking to be hunting Wabbits, but the Wabbit was the one hunting them. And the true hunter, I mean, Peyz doing a great Elmer Fudd impression here in the back half, taking down ducks and making Hoya look like a lame duck with that shot, as he takes down the raccoon in the chair. And then the true coon makes sure to lock everyone else up for the true sniper in Peyz.
I was curious how long you were going to go with the Bugs Bunny references. I'm impressed. You know, that was quite the run. Good on you, Matt.
Potentially the best replay I've ever analyzed in my life.
We'll leave that one up for debate in the chat. Spam 1 if you thought it was great. Spam 2 if you thought it was butt cheeks. Anyway, ThunderTalk.
Spam 2 if you thought it was Elmer Fudd.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been the story of missing board, unfortunately.
I mean, speaking of butt cheeks.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Beichuan is walking gracefully through all of the skill shots that JDG is throwing out. He's very tanky on this Poppy. And now ThunderTalk, even though Peyz pulled off a pretty heroic base defense, I don't know if he can replicate that again. Now that ThunderTalk are dealing with 1 less man from JDG in the defense, inhibitors are open and exposed, and they'll be taken down shortly. And the rest of ThunderTalk, do they actually want to continue for the base siege? It looks like Ala was dealing and trying to deal on the top side of the map, push it in, but he's forced to teleport back and reset. But the rest of his teammates are getting completely annihilated. Ala comes in, slicing maelstrom only tags 1. The tempered fate is going to stall out the fight onto Feather, but the rest of ThunderTalk, they don't care. They are just pushing through, and it's just Shun and missing really left up for the defense as he tries to flash in, but gets nothing for it. Now it's up to Ala missing. There's 4 health bars that are heavily damaged, but can they actually punch through and rip through before the Nexus falls?
That's
and the question is no. ThunderTalk are not letting this be a sweep. They're going to answer back, and we're tied 1-1.
Tough game from Missing there, man. And a good game from ThunderTalk. It was really the one mistake that we saw where they tried to push the Baron a little bit too fast, playing top and mid. That Peyz punished. But besides that, again, the duo of Shun and Missing, we've had some concerns, and we really saw them come to fruition in that game. A little bit harder to find engages when you're Xin and Bard, and frankly, I didn't think that that was necessarily their role even in that one. You can leave the engages to the Aurora, to the Kennen, try and find angles, and we just saw Shun really throwing himself in way too early in a lot of fights. We saw Missing getting caught way too often on the map. A lot of the time, really felt the lack of impact from those two players in this game. And unfortunately, that's been a common trend for JDG. The synergy between Shun and Missing, it hasn't been there every game. It hasn't been there every series. And we saw ThunderTalk, a team that is playing good fundamental league. We talked about this even in game one where they were dropping a lot. Felt like it was okay. They just ended up dropping too much. Like, don't drop the second grubs. This time, split map with Ash Braum, abusing Poppy early game. TT make good fundamental plays and some standout plays, I think, from Hoya, who should be the player of the game in this one. I think well deserved.
Oh, yeah.
Him or Beichuan, I'd give it to Hoya, though, just given the solo kill and how well he took that lead and then snowballed it into JDG. I thought it was really, really nice.
I mean, I've been keeping my eyes locked on Hoya ever since I heard that he B1'd Camille into bin and completely dumpstered him in game 5. That alone made me go back and rewatch the entire ThunderTalk BLG series on my own time, and man, what a treat it has been watching Hoya's this. For us, it's an evolution because we don't really know much about Hoya, prior to this LPL split. Obviously, we're able to go back and check out that he was on Damwon Kia for a little bit of time in LCK before coming over to the LPL. And, kind of similar to SeTab, these are both players that, when they debuted in the LCK, they didn't necessarily get, a ton of flair and a ton of, positive eyes on them. So, coming into the LPL, it's a chance for them to make a new name for themselves to rebrand. Obviously, Hoya has been a little bit longer than SeTab. This is SeTab's first split with ThunderTalk. For Hoya, I think this is his 4th or 5th split.
This is something that is so interesting. Like, it feels like, again, looking back, ThunderTalk, they've been building up to this. Like, Hoya and Beichuan, they've been here now for 2+ years. 1xN was added. He's I think this is his 3rd split with the team, 3rd or 4th. And then for Feather, it's his 3rd, so it would be 1xN's 4th because he was playing with Kiki a little bit beforehand too. And SeTab, of course, this is his debut. They've just been putting the pieces together, and this duo of Hoya and Beichuan, I've never been like super impressed. I said Beichuan had some games, but Hoya was the one that sometimes dragged him down. But Hoya's been a standout so far this year. He's actually been playing really well. I think he knows his role well and is making plays, and I thought we really saw it come to fruition there. I hope he gets the player of the game. It's somewhat contested between him and Beichuan, but I think it's really deserved for Hoya.
Yeah. For the rest of ThunderTalk, I mean, SeTab, quiet performer once again, just very consistent on the Victor and being able to push around Scout's Aurora. And as we get further and further into the Fearless series, once again, more very strong champions are gone from the pool, and champions that are part of really strong winning combinations for JDG are going to be fewer and fewer in between. And as we roll through the replay montage, I mean, that's
a good coach cam right there. They're hyped for the boy.
Yeah, I mean
that's actually another interesting part about BLG. Their coach, he ended up leaving and coming back. So he was there with Hoya and Beichuan at the start, worked with another team for a split and a half, and then came back to ThunderTalk and now has this group that they've been able to put together. So I know I made the NRG comparison earlier. It's not like ThinkCard and Croissant, if you're an NA fan, who were there the whole time, but a lot of familiar faces for ThunderTalk that have been around. Feels like they've been building to something and building up to this where they're legitimately contesting. They beat BLG and now contesting JDG in a best of 5. This is not the likes of what we're used to from ThunderTalk, a team whose average finish in the LPL before this split was 13th out of 17. Now we have them contesting the top teams that we have with relatively unknown players. That's a great story that we have in the early season.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is already their best finish in a post-playoff scenario. So, I mean, ThunderTalk, we said it at the top of the pre-show They have plenty to be proud of for the way they were able to emerge from the group stage as the first seed, especially sharing the group with BLG and besting them in a best of 5. Now, you know, the question is just how far can these guys go? And taking a game off of JDG in this fashion and being able to really punish the fact that, you know, JDG hasn't been the most consistent team despite being, you know, on paper a super team of very strong individual players, but what we're seeing is some of these individuals are not really syncing up, and it's really causing the downfall of JDG when it matters most.
I mean, I will say that when looking at all the members of JDG, it is a super team, but maybe we didn't give them that moniker when some players are missing when it comes to their typical performances that we see from the team. See what I did there?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Thank you. All right.
I don't think missing did, though. Anyway,
oh, Shun
player
didn't
of the
either,
game,
so
Hoya.
well deserved.
I mean,
all right,
well
we're happy
deserved.
about that.
All right. That's what we were waiting for. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's go to break. When we come back, y'all.